Hello, my name is Christopher, and I just turned 35. It is now the dawn of the 10th, and so the ninth is ending. And I said, on my birthday, I am going to run for president. Because when you're 35, you can run for president. I've thought about this number for a long time, and here I am. So, my last seconds as the sun rises on the new day. Okay, so I'm going to run just as a complete independent person. Not left, not right, center. I'm golden. I plan to be completely offensive. I want to destroy the system that is in power, which is a dictatorship, communist institution of madness. I want to abolish the Federal Reserve, as we are moments away from complete monetary collapse. And I want to help establish people to be independent and ready for the inevitable collapse. I want to help cities be ready for a collapse, because no one is ready. And if no one is ready, then you're all going to die an awful death. So, why should I be voted for president? Well, first, because I hate the system. Second, I will not stop until we have a monetary system that is a reflection of resources and is a limited currency that cannot be manipulated by banks and by governments, and that is not a debt currency. Every one of these houses here, they're the hardest working people. I'd be surprised if one of them is owned. Because banks acquire assets by counterfeiting money. When you go to establish a new business, you go to the bank then counterfeits money, and you buy that business, and then you work your whole life away to pay the bank. Every decade or so, the banks counterfeit your labor over, take it, and purchase your land again, and purchase your son's land. Our monetary system is a scam. I could go into that for a while. I have on other videos where I just ramble away like a madman, talking to myself, but yeah, I said I was going to make a video, so here it is. I am running against the state. I am not running for president. I'm running for liberty of man to be ruled. I'm running for the right of the individuals to be different. You know, states screech their rule over all land, which is insane because you cannot go anywhere to be different. You have to be under its rule. There's nowhere we can go to live differently. States also declare that they own all land and have the right to tax you or raise taxes or do whatever they want without your permission. A while ago, not in our lifetime, they had to have permission of the people before raising it. But I believe sometime after World War II, that stopped being the case. So now we are perpetually at loss. I imagine that around 60% or more of all money made, even after taxes, goes back to the banks. And that's incredibly sad because banks steal money into existence. I can't imagine what the world would be like if we have had a real monetary system, a positive one. But we don't. And now everyone's in debt. And the sad thing is that unless we unify, the banks will make us all homeless. Unless we unify and think, consider, we're going to lose everything. It's written in the stars. It's written in your math. Your schools teach you nothing. Your schools are dumb as fuck. besides elementary school, and even that is dumb as fuck. The English language isn't even written phonetically, which is completely insane and purposeless. There is no reason to not have the English language as a phonetic language. It only causes problems. If we had a phonetic language, meaning words sound a certain way and so they're spelled exactly in rhythm, spelling bees wouldn't exist, because spelling bees are primarily how to spell words how they don't sound. Tsunami. Well, we're going to add a T in there. You spelled that correctly. Well, did they? So, just random. I have so many thoughts on so many topics. Ultimately, the right of the free man to not be governed or forced into nonsense. Our whole medical institution is pure madness and theft and corruption. I mean, the amount that they charge is years of labor for the most simple things. And we are not allowed to practice medicine, nor are we allowed to compete to bring down the price. For the name of safety, you are considered stupid. That's how we're taught. We are not taught to be smart. In our schools, we are not taught electrical work. We're not taught vehicle, motors. We're not taught good music theory, music study. Now, you can maybe take some of those once. But the majority of our classes are a complete fucking waste of time and energy. And we pay professors to do that. How much money is spent protecting the fake president? How much money is spent protecting him? He's a fucking geezer. He's dumb as hell. He doesn't do shit. Anyways, I don't know if I've ever seen a president really do something anyway, for what I'm talking about. Healthcare. We are the only nation that does not provide basic healthcare for its people. And yet, we pay 3 times more per person and then don't provide that healthcare. Wow, what the fuck? Other nations are paying $3,000-$4,000 a year per person providing healthcare. I'm not saying it's perfect. But do you know how many people here are suffering because they can't even go in and get something basic? It's just so fucked up, man. When we went into Canada years ago, my grandma fell. Grandma Beekler fell and smashed her head. Goosh! Went to the hospital, everything was done. Boop, boop, boop. Things done. No bill. What? Well, it's provided for by their taxes. Our government steals and counterfeits trillions of dollars and still has an excuse not to help you with basic things. The government is a monster of waste. And worse, we have sub-governments that have infinite power, or declare they do, and everyone's afraid, so they believe them, because we are not taught human rights, we are not taught sovereign rights, and most importantly, we are not given the right to hold the state accountable, or to hold corruption accountable. Okay, let's talk about the bad apple cop. I'm saying a real bad guy, right? Real bad. You know, he's planting drugs on people. He gets caught. Okay, maybe he'll face consequences. But what about the cop that just straight up lied and you can prove that he lied? Well, in our court system, and he swears under oath, right? Nothing will happen to him at all. Well, in our court system, it is the accuser versus the defendee. Justice should be both people are on trial. Therefore, if one is a liar and a piece of shit, they're held accountable. All government problems stem from these two things. If we're going to just jump to this. the solutions. Taxation. And with that, not, having a currency of debt and counterfeit money, not having real currency. And 2, not having the right to declare parlay, the right to declare justice. And because we don't have the right to declare justice and hold the clearly evil accountable, and I'm not talking about some people wearing dresses, that you think dick people shouldn't wear dresses. Okay, it's whatever. I'm not talking about petty shit. I'm talking about clear liars that deceived many and caused massive harm. And then, because we don't have the right to hold justice, we don't have it. And so, our tax system, our money system, and the right to not hold evil people accountable. But then we have to establish a justice system, and with that, we have to establish a system of rehabilitation, or accountability, or spankings, or whipping, or sticking, caning them, bamboo, boom, boom. Thirdly, the military should be run and operated by the free man. And all free people should be a part of the military. It shouldn't be slavery and obedience to some random evil man in authority. It should we acknowledge and we take responsibility and we will act. Lack of accountability and the ability for government institutions to hide themselves or declare themselves immune because of the government. Consider this. You are not allowed to read about the government things. They hide it from you. They literally erase it. I was really hoping Obama would crack down on some of that. I was missing out. I was hoping that he was gonna, decriminalize weed too. He didn't. Here Biden is. Wow, surely the party will do that, and they haven't. So I don't know why anyone would vote for the Democratic Party, considering Republicans, both Bushes, purposely started wars for the benefit of their insanity. Maybe a little bit for their pocket, but mostly because they're warmongers, man. Or the people behind it, false flag events. I just want to say this. It doesn't matter if 10,000 planes would have hit the Twin Towers. They never would have fallen. Never. And they wouldn't fall at the speed of gravity. I dare. I would give $1 trillion American dollars to any person, reconstruct it, and bring it down with a plane. Wouldn't happen. Skyscrapers do not collapse when paper airplanes hit them that are on fire. It doesn't happen. And people just dismiss it. I mean, these buildings had steel columns thick as this house. And they had multiples of them. They were a marvel. Those buildings withstanded, hear me on this, I absolutely mean it, withstanded on 5 miles an hour wind, 10, 20 miles an hour wind, they withstanded more wind pressure by thousands of times more, and I'm guessing on this, but I imagine it may be even more, thousands of times more pressure just on a windy day and a slightly windy, breezy day than that plane would have caused in energy. Anyways, that wouldn't collapse. That's just, to me, two things, the whole world is run by a currency scam, and everyone works for this money, and the whole currency is all a scam. And 2, you got these things that are just like, oh wow, yeah, obviously, like science, right? Their eyes are closed, so we got to open up their eyes. So if we remove something, what do we replace it with? Well, with your sovereign authority. But we have this problem. We have tons of people that have been raised without fathers, without well-being, and without understanding of how to even treat and communicate. So we'll have to learn that. This is my official run for the American president. I'm not running in a political party. I am running against the state. And I have thoughts on a lot of topics, a lot of good ideas. I mean it. Reconstruct, use that reinforced steel. Bring people together that understand how that building was made and how that steel is reinforced. I guarantee you that building daily took more power, more stress and strain than even probably a couple thousand planes could have caused. Because they're tin cans on fire, so what? These buildings were made to withstand earthquakes. It's just the mind is thrown away. We have all these professors, and none of them are interested in the currency, the very system, the lifeblood of society. None of them are interested in simple math because they don't want to be outed. They don't want to be kicked out. Our whole medical system is seized by corruption for corrupt money. And people don't want to touch it. They don't know how to handle it. The government just wants to pay people. Pay a lot of people just to sit on their ass. The average house on welfare, many of them, over the year, and this isn't even including everything, are paid $60,000 tax-free money. Now, it's paid in different services, housing, heating, food, just money given to you. Think about that. Tax-free money. Just given. And these are people that are doing nothing. And those who are laboring their whole lives can't even afford anything, man. Especially with inflation. The government has not raised our currency to reflect inflation. We don't have a bigger bill. We're not allowed to travel with more than $10,000. I was going to say the government hasn't raised the poverty line or the tax break levels to reflect the inflation. They're just so dumb. They're evil. They're either evil or they're dumb. Or both. When I think of people like Bernie Sanders, who's been in there so long, I just think, you've been in there so long, mate. Like, why have you never looked at what the currency system is? You know, they're attacking like the business people. They don't give enough because he doesn't give enough. I'm like, dude, that has nothing to do with why people can't pay for their housing. I don't understand that lack of, like, he's a compassionate person. He has a lot of love, but you can be really compassionate and you can put leeches on people, or you can drain all their blood and they die. Like, you know, I don't get it. Well, here I am at 1,000 Rabbit Run. This is my official release. I guess I'll put it on YouTube. I'm trying to think of some fancy title to name it. So a trend. I've thought about being, you know, a little edgy and saying some fancy words. We'll see. Because it has to catch on. Religions. Yes. Religions and their hating of nudity. There we go. That's another thing. Not allow people to be naked. We already are naked. We're just closing up. Think about this. Half of you have penises. Half of you don't. And we're not even allowed to see them. We have to hide it. Shame. All right, my mouth is slowing down. I can ramble for a while. I don't even know if this will take off or be popular. Man, invite me to any show, we'll talk. I would bring on my cabinet the smartest people, and nerds, and I would focus on preparing for complete collapse in a way that we can rapidly project education to the world. A man can labor all day with a plow, and people go, oh man, that man worked all day with his plow, and he brought in a couple bushels, a couple armfuls of whatever he's harvesting. Then the man with the machine comes by, and he harvests 500 football fields. Machinery has brought us up. And the more we invest in machinery and the liberty of machinery, okay, here's another thing I'll run on. 5, I'd get rid of all patents. I'd get rid of all copyrights, besides the copywriting of brand. Yep, you heard me. I'm telling. I'm saying, if there's a monetary collapse, like all the things people think really matter, like they're not. You guys are going to be starving for bread. And worse, people would be forced into slavery of all evil types. There would be massive rioting, looting. And the sad part is, the American government, the high up, they have plans for this, how to keep themselves alive. But there's no plan actually how to keep you alive, the tax slave. All right, this is my official run. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. John Brown's body lies moldering in the grave. You think about this minister, right? Maybe he wasn't that great of a guy. I don't know. Everyone has some shade to throw on everybody. Minister, he goes to his sons. This is how I see it. He was tired of slavery. He was tired of seeing that shit. And he goes around and he starts shooting slave owners. He starts the Civil War. He did something that was illegal. What happens when the American government makes your actions illegal? How silly. Oh, here's number 5. I would issue all taxpayers guns if they wanted. Be prepared. Weapons of war. No. Guns have not been weapons of war for almost 100 years. Guns are the weapons of the little pawns. Beep, 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 beep. I mean, right now, there would be no war fought with guns. Absolutely not. What's going on in Russia and Ukraine is Russia is playing nice. They're playing nice. But yeah, guns are not weapons of war. Well, what about all the school shootings? Well, first off, why are you forcing kids into shitty schools? Secondly, everyone is completely stressed, and we don't have community centers. We don't have places where people can go. People are frustrated. They're alone. They're in abusive homes. Everything's in debt. So if a person even wants to go out and establish himself anew, he can't. Society is stretched to its breaking point, and it's about to break. And I'm about to break. Everything is in me. About to break. Okay. I wonder if the song. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Oh, this land was made for you and me. Pan away. You ready for the big shot? Man, I have so many ideas. Oh, most importantly, I forgot. Spirit. We are spirit, and there is a demonic realm, and I have the ability to deliver people from demons. There's other people that do as well, and we can grow in it. And I'm growing in my power as well. What do you mean? Somebody is plagued with horrendous thoughts, suicidal tendencies, pain, bipolar. Suck out the demon, free the person. I just gotta prove it to you. Yeah, there's mental conditions, and I completely agree with that. Man, I love science. I am a fan of science, and I want science to verify what I'm saying. That's why I stand against the government. They're extremely anti-science. They're just pro-big propaganda. You know what? I would also shut down all major news networks for at least a month, just so we could have some peace. They're fucking liars. And I would sue most major cereal companies and soda companies, all sorts of things. Sue them. Why? Well, we got to pay for health care. They're causing huge problems. You need to pay for it. That'll cause them to switch it up. Oh, yeah. All right. God is good all the time. All right. Talk about religion. I do not believe in any man-made religion, nor any man-made gospel. I believe in truth. And truth permeates reality, and it permeates religion. There are truths in books. No book is pure truth, for no person follows the book. I've yet to meet a Christian who stones people for working on Sabbath, or even follows the Bible, and yet they'll stand there declaring, "This is the word of God." Okay, I'll start reading to them. Do you do this? Do you do this? Do this? Oh, well, we don't do that anymore. Well, did God say that? And also, we got to realize that we're not allowed to think or hear God's Spirit. Jesus said, "It's better that I go, that I may send you the Spirit, so that he may teach you in all things." Well, it sounds like the Spirit is the one we should be seeking. When that which is perfect comes, that which is imperfect will disappear, but faith, hope, and love shall remain forever. Buddha Kasha, motherfuckers.